Right, let's take a look at manufacturing overhead and how to calculate it. So we know that job order costing or any type of costing includes direct materials, direct labor, and any overhead. And overhead, of course, includes the indirect materials, the indirect labor, as well as various other things. We keep track of a job and job order costing. We fill out a job cost sheet that has those things on it: direct materials, direct labor, and whatever overhead that we applied. Okay? And overhead is applied using a formula. So here is Charles Custom Furniture, and this is a job cost sheet for them. So up at the top of the job cost sheet gives us basic information: the job number, when we started it, what is it, who the customer is, and if we finish the job, that date will also be put in there as well. And then it's divided, you can see, out into direct materials, direct labor, and the overhead section. And direct materials includes all of that. Direct labor comes from the time ticket analysis sheets, and that's all on there as well. So what we're mainly concerned about is this overhead section, how to calculate it, so that we can then add up those three main things to get the total cost of building that one job. So again, there's various things besides indirect materials, indirect labor. There's various other things that deal with the factory building: rent of the factory building, repairs for the factory building, utilities and electricity for the factory building, depreciation of the factory building and the factory equipment, insurance for the factory building or the factory equipment. Anything to do with the factory building and the factory equipment are costs that are going to go into overhead, along with the indirect materials and the indirect labor. Okay? These are what we call the actual overhead costs that are all going into overhead. In other words, we're going to be debiting overhead for all of those things. Now, what we want to do on the job cost sheet is we want to apply a chunk of overhead. So, in other words, each job is going to include a little bit of indirect material, a little bit of repairs, a little bit of rent, a little bit of insurance, a little bit of depreciation. All those things that go into overhead, a little bit of each of those is going to go into each job. Well, how much is a little bit? That's where the formula comes in, that we're going to apply or allocate a piece of the overhead to each job. So here is showing you a journal entry. If we had only one journal entry for the entire year, of course we don't, we would, these things come in a little here and a little there. So whether it's indirect materials, indirect labor, insurance, depreciation, rent, whatever it is that's coming into the overhead, we're going to be debiting the overhead, and then if we paid cash, we'd credit cash, and if we purchased that thing on account, we would credit accounts payable. Now, we have to then decide, how are we going to apply this overhead? We have to take a little piece of the total overhead for the year and divvy it out amongst all the jobs that we did that year. So how are we going to divvy it out? Well, here are some possibilities. the number of units, you know, especially if all the units that we produce, we only produce one kind of thing and they're all the same, then we could just divide out the overhead, the estimated overhead, divvy it out according to each unit. So if we have $1,000 of overhead and we have 1,000 units that are all the same, we would just say 1,000 divided by 1,000 is $1. We would apply $1 of overhead for each of the 1,000 units. But most places, most manufacturers create a lot more than just one type of product, or the products aren't necessarily the same, so that doesn't work for a lot of companies. So if it's a company where what they're producing takes a lot of direct labor hours to make those products, then they might want to use direct labor hours or direct labor cost as their cost driver. If it's a company where they make their stuff with like robotic machines, as opposed to a bunch of human labor, then the number of machine hours might be how they divvy up their overhead. They might have some other kind of base. So what the management has to do is look and see what drives production, and then they can decide, you know, that's what we're going to use as our cost driver. Okay, so here's our formula for a single overhead rate that will just be applied across the board. Okay, and we're going to take the manufacturing overhead costs and divide it by whatever is our cost driver, whether that's direct labor hours or machine hours, whatever it is that is our driver. We'll total all the costs, the overhead costs that we think we're going to have that for that year, and divide it by how many direct labor hours or whatever is the cost driver that we're going to have for that year. Typically, we're going to calculate out this overhead rate. Maybe if our company runs on a calendar year from January through December, we'll calculate out this rate maybe in the fall. Okay, so right now in the fall, I would be calculating out the overhead rate that I'm going to start using in January of next year. Okay, so we have to calculate, we have to estimate how much overhead costs are we going to have for next year, and how much of our cost driver do we think we're going to have for next year. And then it's a simple division, and we have our rate, and we just use that rate all of next year. Okay, so that is how we're going to get one overall, what we call plant-wide rate, a rate we're just going to use for everything, okay? And we'll use that all of next year, okay? But we could make different rate formulas for different departments or different products or different activities, okay? And we'll take a look at different departments, different types of products later in this PowerPoint show. And ABC costing overhead is where we do overhead based on activities. And so we can do that as well. And that is a separate PowerPoint. All right, this slide talks about why we use estimates. So I want to calculate out my rate. I want to estimate the amount of overhead costs we're going to have next year and the amount of the driver for cost driver for the next year. And that helps us make production decisions because we have to make budgets now for next year. And how many products are we going to make? And, do we need to hire extra people for next year? And how much direct materials are we going to have to get in? All those kinds of production decisions have to be made before we're actually on that day. Okay, so having estimates helps us to do that. It allows us to set our prices, the prices we're going to charge to the customer. If I don't know how much something is going to cost me to make, then I have a hard time figuring out how much am I going to charge the customer. Okay? It helps to normalize fluctuations. So what this is talking about is like insurance. Typically, we might pay the factory building insurance once a year. So on that month, if I was just going to use that overhead of that month for just the jobs of that month, then those jobs would have a lot more overhead in them than the next month that didn't have that extra cost in it. So by doing this estimate of how much for the whole year of overhead we're going to have, and then create a rate that divvies it out, we'll normalize that out so that products built in February, products built in August, and products built in December all have the same rate of overhead being applied to them. Okay, and again, our formula is the predetermined plant-wide overhead rate is to take the estimated overhead cost divided by our estimated units of the cost driver for next year. Okay? All right, so getting back to the furniture company, we looked at their job cost sheet. Okay, Charles Furniture Company. Okay, and they estimate that costs should total about $100,000 next year. Okay, they're very labor intensive building furniture, and so they're going to use direct labor hours as their cost driver, and they estimate they'll use 8,000 labor hours. Okay, so we're going to take the estimated total overhead costs, which is 100,000, divided by the estimated allocation base or cost driver, which is the 8,000 direct labor hours. And that gives us $12.50 per labor hour. So that's my rate. I'm going to use that all next year when I'm applying overhead to each job cost sheet. I will apply it. I will figure out how many labor hours did that job cost sheet have each month and multiply it by $12.50. And that's how much overhead I'm going to apply. Okay, so if a job requires 22.4 total labor hours, then we take that 22.4 direct labor hours, multiply it by the $12.50 rate that we just calculated, and that gives us $280 of overhead that we're going to apply to that job. Okay, and here's just a summary. Okay, our 100,000 estimated overhead cost divided by our estimated cost driver is our predetermined overhead rate of $12.50 per direct labor hour. If we actually had 8,100 direct labor hours by the end of next year, we had estimated, we thought we would have 8,000 direct labor hours next year. But by the end of the year, if we actually had 8,100, we would have applied 8,100 times 1250